welcome into Alta High School for a Game Night Live Rewind game of the week. Dusty Litster and Dane Stewart. We've got a good one for you, getting ready for the 5A state tournament. Timpview coming into Alta. And Dane, you were here for game one. Game two was last night. And now, interestingly, game three tonight here in this matchup.
Game two.
Oh, you did Orem.
I'm thinking Orem.
Sorry,
no,
sorry.
You're good.
Yep.
You're good. It is game two. They did play last night.
Yep.
You nailed that one. This is a makeup game from a game that was postponed due to COVID.
That's right.
That game last night. Look, both teams came out. Dusty, they had a combined 47 points in the first quarter. They scored incredibly efficiently, but it was a third quarter difference, 22-8 for Alta, that propelled the Hawks to the win. And it was the sophomore. You look at Jackson Johnson, 6'7", scores 13 points a game. He hit 5 threes, 29 points to lead the Hawks past Timpview as they're sitting atop of Region 8 all by them lonely selves. And Timpview trying to, tonight, make up for that and give them some company.
Well, both these teams are the only two teams to knock off Orem. And you're going to see our video coming out this week on Game Night Live Rewind. We talked about that region. And Orem coming in with 2 losses, and they're only to Timpview at the horn. And then last week, this Alta team, Dane, they are rolling. A 15-point win against Orem. And this is a team that is playing their best basketball. And Coach Travis Orem, they've got it moving.
Yeah, they've had some injuries they've had to scrap through. Jensen Campbell, a senior, that Orem game, Dusty, he got hurt. And, you know, Coach Orem sticking with him. He wasn't going to trade him for pieces and picks. Stuck with his injured player. He's now back. Colin Crow is healthy. There's a lot of pieces. This roster is starting to come together for Coach Orem in his first year. And it's what makes them really, really tough to deal with right now.
As Hayden will hand back to Jet Lundberg, and Jet will reset the offense for the Hawks. And it just feels good for Dane and Dusty to be doing a game at Alta.
No kidding, huh? This is like 2007.
Where's the original Kohler? Ice in the veins.
Yeah. Of course, that was at Bingham, right?
That was at Bingham.
It was at Bingham,
yeah.
But it was Alta.
It was Alta Bingham, yeah.
Yeah. That's the guy I love, Jackson Hayden. Oh, boy.
Lundberg along the baseline. The Timpview coaching staff wanted to travel, did not get it. And it's 2-0 Alta.
I love watching Jet Lundberg play. Offensively, he'll try to speed things up here for Alta, and defensively, that guy will lock you down. Love watching Lundberg and what he's brought to Alta this year.
And a little jump hook on the baseline won't go for James Rust, and now quickly on the other end comes Alta.
You see the height, Jackson Hayden, the shot disruption. He can be a real good advantage for Alta on both ends.
Johnson cycles through, now on the angle with Dylan Smith. Hayden goes lob into Mason Roberts, and Roberts with the bucket. And a quick 4-0 start here for the Hawks.
The bigs for Alta can shoot, so you bring them outside and you allow Roberts to seal off that interior. That's an easy entry and a nice finish for the senior Mason Roberts.
Back on the other end, here's the T-Bird, send to the corner, 3 on the way. Won't go for Carter Halliday, and the rebound taken by the Hawks, now quickly up the floor.
That is the sophomore Johnson.
And Jackson goes inside, set out to Hayden. Off on the 3, and the rebound taken by Timpview. James Rust, quickly up the floor. This is Truman Birmingham. Along the base, or probably on the angle, this is Keck. Oh, and hits the deck. There's a foul on Alta. His Oldroyd was fouled. It'll be the first foul of the game, just inside of 6 minutes left in the opening quarter. Of course, Timpview in their first season under Izzy Engel, the very successful coach at Timpanogos. They're easily their winningest coach in basketball history. Took over for Coach Santiago that may have won more games than anybody this side of Perry Wildebohr. Is that 3 off the mark by Rust. The extra possession is shortly lived with a steal from the Hawks. Hayden lost it, got it back, can't get it to drop, and the rebound taken away by Timpview. Now quickly back down the floor with the T-Birds.
Surprising miss finish there by Hayden. That's one he finishes 99 times out of 100.
And now a foul on the drive. It'll be the second foul on the Hawks as it'll be charged to the Hawks number 3, Dylan Smith.
Dylan can be a lockdown shooter from long range as well. That time committing the foul, but his offense, what he's brought this year for Alta, he's had some big-time made shots for this Hawk offense this year.
Andrew Keck, give back to Rust. Rust sends to the corner, Carter Halliday. Halliday will hand back to Birmingham, and Birmingham on the run, can't get the baseline floater to drop. The board, and now on the run out with Lundberg. Mid-range J is there for Hayden, and a 6-0 start for Alta as we crawl under 5 minutes left.
Jackson Hyden, love watching him shoot. The way he squares that up, such a confident shooter for Alta. And good for him to get that one to finally go after a couple missed shots earlier in the contest. This is where, for me, Dusty, Timpview, how do they establish offensive consistency? It's kind of been a two-man, three-man show at times. Got to develop some more scoring depth on this lineup, in my opinion.
As you'll see, Timpview reset the offense. We'll get this offense, or clock set, as that tip up won't go. As we go inside of 4:25 left in the first quarter. Again, our clock unofficial is Lombard lost it, got it back, and now it'll be a travel. Yeah, got to let the ball hit the floor. It does not. So turnover there for the Hawks. As we'll back down the floor with Timpview.
Coach Izzy Engel, first year. Great to see Izzy, huh?
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've done a regular season Izzy game, Dusty.
We mentioned all the years at Timpanogos team, their first ever semifinal.
Yeah.
Had a lot of good players. There's the pass that's stolen by Jackson Johnson, that sophomore, now on the run with Lombard. But Izzy's always done such a great job, and when this opportunity came open, I think it was a surprise to a lot of people, but Izzy pulled down the job as that three won't drop, and then Lombard comes flying through for the board.
I mean, as a 6'1" point guard, Lundberg averages 5 rebounds a game. He is that hustle kind of guy. Love it.
You ready for a little away call back?
Yeah.
Is the three on the way and good, and that's a 9-0 start. Timeout, Izzy Engel with 3:28 left, the 30-second timeout. We'll keep it here, but what a start for Alta.
4 different scores for the Hawks, Dusty, and just the one made 3. Smith missed 1, Hayden missed 1. They're both very good from beyond the arc. Alta right now getting the looks they want. And for Timpview, we've seen the length of Alta disrupt passing lanes, made it tough on rebounding, and finishes at the rim. Right now, Coach Engel, he's got to figure out how to get easier looks for his guys because nothing's coming easy here early.
Well, we know about this Alta team. They've got things rolling right along, but I was going to say the big point guard, I mean, the way back machine. We're talking about the 05-06 team. Blake Tillotson was that big point guard. Him and Hansen, Braden Hansen was the SI All-American offensive lineman. And then they had Cameron, the lob up. Remember that was the team that was up 20 points-ish against Stratton McCausland and Nick Martineau and Brian Green. Lost that game at the East Center. But that was a big point guard that year for Coach Tony Cannon.
Yeah.
There's Rust on the drive. Can't get it. And the rebound taken by Hayden. And Alta pitching a shutout here early on.
You know, James Rust, 6'5" junior. Love them trying to go to their big, get him going, averages 10 points a game. Against most teams, that's an easier finish. But again, you see the length of Alta disrupting.
Hayden, beautiful job keeping his eyes up. Finds the easy 2 with Jackson Johnson. And a quick 11-0 start.
I mean, Hayden listed at 6'10" and Johnson at 6'7". There are not a lot of 5'8" teams with that kind of height inside. And when they play as well together as this duo does, you're going to win a lot of games.
Hanging on a pivot, Keck turns it over. Dylan Smith loses the handle, and now we're going to have a defensive foul on Alta. That'll be the 3rd team foul, the 2nd going to be called on Smith.
That'll be a one that Dylan, I think, going to have to come off the floor here, and we will see Jensen Campbell, Dusty. The young man had a fracture against that Orem Tiger team. We were here, was in a boot, missed several games. He's back. Great to see the senior get back on the floor here for the Hawks late in the year.
So off the screen, Birmingham is on the baseline to Keck. Send up top. This is Coy Berg. And in a new era for Timpview, no Coleman Ford.
None crazy, of those, right?
Yeah, it was like forever. We saw him at Juan Diego as a freshman. As that will not drop for Keck, and another foul on, this one's on Timpview. So the first foul on the T-Birds, and it's a loose ball foul.
And again, I mean, you see a take to the rim that Timpview's had a lot of success with this year, but it's made more difficult against the height, and it just comes off the rim. Alta defense, Dusty, I love watching this team play on both ends, and might have something special in store as we get closer to state playoffs and picks.
Well, the travel call on Hayden, he's fortunate that wasn't an offensive foul. clearing some space with the elbow, but they did get a traveling violation and a turnover. And Dane, that's my first time getting to see Alta, and I know you were worried that I wasn't going to see him because this 5A tournament, they're a team that matches up and actually could cause problems for Olympus. It's the size and the height. There's the 3 drops for Keck, and Timpview finally sees the ball go through the hoop, but this size and the way this Alta team's built, they can pose a major issue to Coach Barnes.
I mean, here's the thing, right? Olympus shoots the 3 balls so well that you have to defend the arc. And with Wistersill, they have a presence inside. Does the physicality of Wistersill win against a Hayden or a Johnson in the block and allow the rest of that Hawk defense to defend the perimeter? To me, that's the question. That game is weeks away, but I'm with you. I'm like, the intensity they play with, the roster construct, this is an interesting team to keep an eye on.
John to run out, and it's a block from behind to Hayden.
Nay, Dusty. Yeah. You can't go steal my pick now.
I'm telling you, you know what I see? I see those great Lone Peak teams with Quincy Lewis, and they kept playing Copper Hills in the first round with that guard line, and Quincy said, fine, Hawkins, score 40 points from 2 is a nice job on the second chance and bucket for James Oldroyd, where he said, okay, Hawkins, we'll surrender 40 points to you because we're better everywhere else, and we'll surrender it to you. And I could see that kind of be the game plan if I'm Coach Travis Horn.
I'll tell you, I love Oldroyd on that play. We talked about how good Alta has done on the rebounds, and that's one that James rushing to the rim, looking for a second chance opportunity, gets it rewarded. That's the kind of effort that I think Timpview is going to have for the remainder of this contest as they try to claw back in this.
There's a series of substitutions come in for Coach Izzy Engel. As they lob in, and a foul on the lob. It's going to put Johnson at the line for 2 free throws, and that's quickly now 3 team fouls apiece.
It's one of the tough things. Name me a team in this classification that can defend that play.
Yeah. The only one's Olympus because he put Wistersill underneath the hoop and say, go get it.
Yeah.
That's the only one that we've seen. As Johnson knocks down the first.
The thing that I think was interesting for me, we talked about Izzy, his first year. It's first year as well for Coach Travis Orn, coming over from Bingham. And for me, it was how quickly is this roster going to take to his style, and is the style going to fit the roster? And I think early on, the returns are yes and yes. And it's led to good things.
Johnson got the block, and then the miss at the rim, the run out, and then now a steal for Timpview. And now the T-Birds on the run.
That's a great recovery there by the T-Birds.
Hand off to Rust. Rust had that one tipped away, and that ball's going to go out of bounds. And you just see the arm length, that reach, the Jerry Sloan stat. How many times do you deflect the ball? And you see right now, no easy path to the hoop against Alta. Jensen Campbell, send to the corner. That is Colin Crow. Inside of 30 seconds left, Crow on the drive, and contact and no call.
I was expecting offensive foul on that one, Dusty.
And if there was a restricted area, we all just understand what's going on at that point.
Vote Dusty in 2024, restricted area.
I got everything else. I got the 3 officials years ago. Now we got the shot clock. We go inside of 10 seconds. 5 seconds. 3, shot on the way, and they're going to say block, no foul. And that'll do it for the first quarter, and a quarter that could not have gone any better. If you're Coach Orn and the Hawks, it is Alta 15, Timpview 5. You're watching the Game Night Live Rewind, Game of the Week. Start of the second quarter, Dusty Litster and Dane Stewart with you in a 10-point Alta lead. Dane, this 10-point lead feels a lot bigger. The way this Alta defense played in the first quarter, especially I would like to highlight the offense. To me, the impressive thing was the defense only scoring 5 points and nothing coming easy to Timpview.
Yeah, I mean, I think if I'm Timpview right now, you really have to discover where your opportunities are and take advantage of them. There's one where on the drive, it's like, I'd rather go one-on-one against the guard than a kick out against the length. And I think that's going to come a little bit with experience, but right now, I mean, I think Alta's just doing so much to disrupt Timpview that they really look out of sync to me.
And can't quite find that soft spot in this defense. They continue to shoot the corner three, and that won't go for Keck as that goes out of bounds.
It's one of the interesting things, Dustin, when you look at this. Truman Birmingham has been the leading scorer for Timpview, 15 in game. He had 32 in the loss last night for Timpview. Has yet to score. The 6-foot guard, wearing number 1, Alta has really keyed in on him today.
And that ball tipped out of bounds by Birmingham, and a rarity to see in high school basketball, especially during the region play, back-to-back nights of playing.
Yeah.
And in fact, I don't remember how the bracket's laid out this year. The only back-to-back you'll get in the season normally, outside of doing tournaments, is if you're the seat you flip on the classification to play Thursday, Friday in the semifinal day. You play those 3 days in a row. It's the only time you really get it.
And since they've moved girls and boys to the same, I don't think we've seen that happen.
Offensive foul on Rust. That is the 15th foul. And a big one on Rust. As Lundberg is trapped in the backcourt, Coach Oren got the timeout. So timeout on the floor with 6:56 left. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. You're watching Game Night Live Rewind.
College wasn't built for me.
It didn't care if I had to work a double shift.
Or if my kid had a fever.
Deadline's a deadline.
I want to set the deadlines.
I want to take tests when I'm ready.
I want to take courses on my time.
And speed up when I know my stuff.
I want a university that cares about me.
Tests on your time, courses on your time, graduate on your time. WGU, the nonprofit university of you.
.56 left. Again, a Game Night Live Rewind Game of the Week. As always, we're brought to you by Heidemann and Associates. And Dane, you need a guy you can trust, but even if we tell you can trust him, you can reach out to us and we'll introduce you. But Justin Heidemann there to offer a free consultation to all of our listeners.
Yeah, full service law firm, be it business, personal, living will and trust, whatever legal needs you have. He'll take care of you. Call 801-754-4240.
So Jet Lundberg leaves that one for a cutting Johnson, and foul at the rim. If that's on Rust, it's number 2.
And the 16th foul.
Be shooting the rest of the second quarter. I think Izzy's asking differences in blocks, and always a tough thing you get in basketball as Jackson Johnson hits the first. And I'll fight calling him Jack Johnson. He just wants to live easy. Just get nice and chill. The second won't go, and again, Timpview trying to find some offense here, Dane, as they've just not been able to penetrate this defense.
I think this is the guy for me, Truman. Can he create, or can you get him a good look? Is Timpview here working around?
As Keck sends out Birmingham for 3, hits the deck. Not going to draw the call. And then the quick run out is Crow sends back out for 3, and Johnson buries it. And Alta, man, this team looks as good as any Alta team we've seen throughout our years of covering Alta basketball.
And I'll tell you, I mean, talking with Coach Oren, he's like, look, I don't care if we never run a set. I want to get up and down the floor. I want to run. And tell you, I mean, a fast break opportunity. And I don't know if Crow feels awkward playing for the Hawks, but he felt comfortable. Made a nice play there.
Whiplash.
You like that?
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
It's a Blackbird. He's just going to take your soul. See over there?
Yeah.
As here is Crow. Sent back out again. Johnson. Inside out 3. Back-to-back triples, and it's a 17-point first half lead.
A sophomore stud, Dusty. Couple more years coming. Right now, he is feeling it.
We got a couple of them right now on the stage. We can talk about Cooper Lewis. And one I saw last night, Ike Palmer. He's come back on the other end. The three would not drop, but this place would have gone nuts if Jensen Campbell cans that one. Has come back the other way with Timpview. Old Droid, Russ, now up top Birmingham. Birmingham thought he'd get the call, does not, but a tough finish that does go.
Truman had to work every inch for that one. That's a tough finish and a great one from Birmingham.
Johnson. And an extra possession by the big point guard, Lombard.
That kid, man.
It's where Corey and Mulaney were talking about Dallin Hall. He's like, look, my guy's that big on the top. He can get a lot of rebounds, too. As Russ cleans that one up and sends it out of bounds. And we'll stay here with Alta. Remember talking to Mulaney about that. I'm like, what else does Hal give you? He goes, hey, defense, it's a lot of rebounds. He's like, he's just bigger than everybody. You can go out and get it. And you said with Lumberg, he's a big point guard. Is Timpview going to come out and trap? Send backside, that pass is wide of Campbell. And we'll go back down the floor with Timpview.
It's a great idea, though. You have everyone high, the double team comes, you know you've got a lob to the rim. That one was just too hot from Jet, ends up in the turnover.
So back down the floor with the T-Birds. On the angle with Burge. Burge send out. Three on the way, no, and the rebound still loose and picked up by Burge. Birmingham sends back up top. Burge on the drive. Hanging in the paint, give it up. And it's Rust. Two tough buckets in the last two possessions for Timpview. And now violation on Alta.
Oh, never mind.
Oh, no, it was just a delay. Interesting. Maybe a delayed game warning as Crow doesn't get that one. And the rebound taken by the Hawks. You got three T-Birds there, and it's Mason Roberts coming away with the board.
I believe he was coming off the bench earlier in the year and got starting minutes tonight. He's been playing well.
And a warning to Izzy Engel as Engel was frustrated, and Oldroyd came on top of the ball as the optics of the big swipe there from Oldroyd, maybe the biggest part of that, the biggest culprit on that play.
I think Dusty saw it the same way Izzy did. You kind of made that same gesture here. We're kind of aligned to that side of the floor, and Izzy's still pleading his case here to the officials.
Roberts on the front end of 101 leaves it open. So a 13-point game at 3:35 remaining in the half. Only 4 points thus far for Timpview in this quarter. They scored 5 in the first quarter.
Yeah.
And you mentioned last night they had a combined, 48 points in the first?
47 in the first.
There's Oldroyd on the drive. And
that is the thing that Timpview's doing. They're pulling everyone outside, and it's allowing some of those driving lanes to open up. If they get around that edge, then you've got yourself some opportunities to get close to the rim.
Campbell tied up by Birmingham, and a jump ball. And the possession belongs to, it says Alta on the board. Yeah, official looked at I don't know where he was looking there. But it is Alta basketball. There's a quick inbound into Johnson on all the confusion, and Johnson with an easy two.
Most of the time you want your bigs to have some weight on them. That's one of the times when having a slender build helps. Just kind of slithered in right at the rim, and the height able to score it.
Burge, 4-3.
I'll tell you, with as rough as this first half has been, there's been no give up for Timpview, and they're kind of clawing back in this one. There's a turnover.
And a steal from Old Droid. Left it short, Rust on the trail, and the bucket.
Sometimes it's just about living your way through the storm, right? And Timpview's done that, and now they're starting to find their rhythm. here in this second quarter.
You always regress to the mean, right?
Yep.
Get that ball inside to Roberts. Roberts had that shot challenged, and now the rebound, and now a loose ball foul going to be called on Timpview. I think this is going to go against Oldroyd. And now it'll be 1-1 free throws again for Roberts. We don't have the numbers coming up. Anyway, as Johnson will come off the floor here in the final 2:15. And Roberts gets the front end there and earns a second free throw. As Keck will come back on for Oldroyd.
This Alta team has 4 players that average double figures, but in this first half, it's really just been Jackson Johnson. Everyone else has got less than 3 points apiece, Dusty. Timpview really hasn't done a terrible job. It's just been Jackson that's caught lightning in a bottle here early.
And 2 threes in the quarter as Burge going to drive down the lane. Contact under the hoop and no call. Hayden was there, and now you're going to have the foul in transition. We'll put Lumberg at the line. Anyway, he's saying is he went straight up. Usually the defender leaves his feet underneath the hoop, you get the hit, but they're saying he's straight up on that. The only explanation you can accept.
It's the hard thing, right? If you want to go look at replay, we can. From here, it was hard to tell if those arms come down or not. Defensive player does have a vertical right. If he's straight up, then it's a good no call, and I couldn't tell live whether he was or not.
Birmingham on the drive. And Lumberg going to get called for the reach. And I was about to point out fouls are 9-3, now 9-4. The final 143. I mean, it'd be double bonus and 7 by the end of this.
At Dusty Litzer on Twitter.
And officials can tell me all the time, we're not trying to sure it up. Like, yeah, but you also don't like the look. If a team's driving anyway, you can say, hey, you're just settling for threes, I got it. Timpview's not doing that. Keck goes at Lumberg, parallel in the lane, hangs, and +1 for Keck, and his first points, I believe, on the evening.
Yep. No. He had a 3 back in the first.
That's right.
But his first since then, and a chance for a 3-point play here.
As Russ will come off the floor in favor of McKay Simpson. And Keck looking to make it a 2-possession game. And the free throw comes off. So inside of a minute and a half left in the first half.
This trap has been good for Timpview.
And it's still to Birmingham. Hayden on the chase. And the layup goes. Remember, you can go for a block in high school basketball and hit the backboard. There were some fans that wanted a technical. It's not technical in high school.
To finish that thought, you can go for a block in high school, and if you hit the backboard, it's not goaltending.
Not sure who the call was on. They didn't see the numbers on it again.
Dusty turned sideways, so we...
I wasn't going to say it. We're in the double bonus. There's been a lot of contact on this trap.
I will tell you this. Timpview's found something. The defensive intensity and the trap has helped them to buy into that. It's certainly disrupting this Alta offense.
Smith misses both free throws. And now you got stuff happen behind the officials that nobody saw, as you got Izzy Engel got taken out by Hayden coming up the floor, and Izzy's got to be careful because he's already been warned. But as Engel was coming up the floor with his team, Hayden ran right up his back. And all the officials were up the floor. So we're going to try to get things restored here. because they really needed to. Emotions are getting high. Again, both teams, they played yesterday. And Eagle got the timeout. It's a full timeout. We'll take it with them, see if we can get everything sorted out here. It's getting hot in Alta.
Jake said these are awesome for studying.
Line. You shouldn't ever take someone else's medication.
Know your script. Talk to your kids about the dangers of sharing prescriptions.
Jake said these are awesome for studying.
Line. You shouldn't ever take someone else's medication.
Know your script. Talk to your kids about the dangers of sharing prescriptions.
College wasn't built for me.
It didn't care if I had to work a double shift.
Test day's test day. Deadline's a deadline.
I want to set.
So quick back in, Dusty Lister and Dane Stewart. 1 minute left in the half as Timpview is led by a lot in this game. At different points, what was it, 20-5, I think at one point?
22-5, I believe.
So 15-3 run as we have 1 minute left. Birmingham goes high post to Rust. Rust out, Hayden sends out to Birds for three. And it's a 2-point game. Johnson terminates in the pass here near side. We'll have a 13 on our roster. Just got that through. Smith for three. Off the mark, Hayden with the board. Stripped away and a whistle. Gonna put Hayden at the line. And a technical foul on Timpview's bench. And we were talking to the break. They got lucky to not have one earlier, just moments ago. A lot of leeway. Players can't jump up, and there's a lot of emotion. And it's a player that jumped up and hit the technical foul. And so Timpview will get 2 free throws and a possession with 28 seconds to go.
Yeah, so I think what they're saying is players came onto the floor. Dusty, you explained that, but especially given what happened about 30 seconds ago, right? And it was one of the things, that whole melee, they did not issue a technical, and I was kind of surprised because a lot of the bench came out on the floor, and I think it was probably, hey, we didn't see it, we understand that, but cannot have that happen, and it just did. And I know that there's been a lot of temper and frustration with the officiating here early, but I mean, Peyton Dastrup went over and said, hey, you gotta stay in it mentally, you gotta stay mentally strong, and it's gonna be technical free throws for Alta.
Well, and Coach Cusick went down the line too, and
yeah.
one of the things if you're not on the floor, don't hurt the game, right?
So there were 2 technicals given, it's gonna be 4 free throws.
Oh, 2
I believe 2 players on the bench were granted or given technicals.
As Hayden hits the first. Then the second. So that's number 1. Now here's the second technical. And again, we're not getting numbers up on the board. And Hayden hits, free throw number 3. And he has one last one, and then position. So 4 free throws and now possession for Alta. And Dane, this stems a tide because 18-3 run up into this point from Timpview.
And especially when Alta is struggling to even get a look. That trap has been so good at disrupting the offense, and to hand them 4 points, and when you've got all the momentum coming into the locker room, I'll tell you though, for those that worry about high school sports, they're well and alive. There's a great atmosphere here tonight, huh?
And that defense slapped away by Timpview, and the T-Birds have a chance for the final shot of the half. As McKay Simpson able to knock that ball away. It's Birmingham with 3 at the horn. Back rimmed on the triple, and that'll do it for an emotional first half. A big lead for Alta. Gets trimmed down to 2. They go into the break up 6 at the half. It's the Alta Hawks 29, the Timpview T-Birds 23. As you are watching a Game Night Live Rewind Game of the Week with Dusty and Dane on KSLSports.com. start of the second half. Dusty Lister, Dane Stewart with you here on a Game Night Live Rewind game of the week, and it's absolutely lived up to it. And we'll see if 8 minutes of halftime calmed some of the tempers. So we saw at the end of that, because this game was 22-5. Alta trims, or pardon me, Timpview trimmed it 25-23. And it wasn't double technicals. It was a 2-shot foul, and then a technical that led to the 4 free throws, and which is the difference right now of being in a 6-point lead or a 2-point game. But Dane, this Timpview team found some offense after it struggled. But it was really the last 3 minutes of that first half that was a difference.
Yeah, I mean, they did a great job of forcing some turnovers. That trap, Dusty, led to some good things. It disrupted Alta offensively, got them out on the run. I thought they were much more aggressive driving the lane and hit some big outside shots. Berg with a couple to get things going for the T-Birds. And you see them coming out with pressure here again. Alta has to develop an answer against this if they want to win.
So it was a jump ball, and the possession goes back to Alta. So there's Roberts underneath, sends back out, open 3 for Smith. And Alta starts the second half like they started the first, and that is on fire.
I'll tell you, this kid could qualify to play at Olympus. I really think he is a really good three-point shooter.
And a +1 on this end for Timpview. Is on the take and make is Carter Holiday. His first points of the night.
Which, I'll tell you this, Dusty, the officials have had it. This is a much more tightly officiated first 36 seconds than we saw in the first half, isn't it?
And it'll be interesting to watch where it goes, because Timpview was gave up double bonus to Alta. Alta had like 14 fouls, so my prediction was wrong, being 10-7, but
I think it ended up 10-5, 10-6, about that. It was close.
It's outside with Smith. Roberts gives it up to Lundberg. Lundberg looking inside to Hayden. Goes to Johnson straight away for 3. No, and the rebound taken by Birmingham.
Hayden had a positioning inside. They were late to recognize it, couldn't get him the ball as Timpview was able to recover defensively.
Birmingham drives at Smith. Left-handed shot goes. Beautiful take and finish by Birmingham.
He does such a good job of using his body to help shield. We've seen that a couple times tonight on those drives from Truman.
And now, Lundberg came back to get that one.
Look, 3 T-Birds around him putting pressure on the basketball.
Lundberg trapped around midcourt, give it up to Roberts. Goes at Russ, blocked from behind by Eck, and then the whistle comes in. It'll be 2 free throws for Roberts. And the foul will go to Eck, or pardon me, back to Keck.
This is a must-win game for Timpview, and outside of the first 6 minutes, I feel like they've, well, I don't know, first 10 minutes, I guess, they've played like it. Like the back 6 minutes of that second quarter and this second half, they've been locked in. I love the aggressiveness that we've seen from them here tonight.
Roberts hits the first. And they're going to have a loose ball foul on Hayden. I bet it's number 1 on Hayden. Birmingham's got it going offensively. Rust kind of toward the end got it going. But Timpview was stymied for quite some time and then found the rhythm. Birmingham in the lane, force it up, no, and now a loose ball foul on Roberts. And that'll be the 3rd team foul on the Hawks. But it's on the rebound, it'll be inbound on the baseline.
Timpview continuing just empty out the paint, right? Everyone outside, let Truman drive, try to create, draw contact. 3 quick fouls here on Alta in this second half for the Hawks, or on the Hawks.
Quickly into Keck, up top of Burge.
Look at the lane.
Burge leaves it out to Keck for 3, short, and the rebound taken by Smith. Now ahead to Hayden. He was a little tight to the rim, and now it's Rust on the rebound and run out. T-Birds with some numbers, and Rust loses it out of bounds, and a missed opportunity for Timpview.
Yeah, they missed opportunities on both ends. Hayden was slow to get up, get back on the play. Timpview had numbers, and they end up giving it back.
Just in case you were curious, that 8 minutes did not cool anything down.
No.
Smith Campbell lobs it up to Hayden. He can't get it. Campbell gets the loose ball, goes back up and is blocked. Going to be the travel. Yeah, traveling violation. Is he held on to the ball?
Dual possession.
Yeah, great, better call. Yeah. So a 5-point game. As Keck on the drive gets Johnson off his feet and scores. And it's a 3-point game.
That's great recognition by Keck. Jackson was kind of shaded, and that baseline was wide open, and they were able to take advantage. Another turnover here.
Yeah, Johnson thought about 3. When he got chased off the line, he shuffled and turns it over.
I think some young minutes here from Jackson Johnson, that youth, right? Displaying itself a little bit after that hot first half when he had 16 points.
Keck again on the drive, leaves it for Burge. Burge along the baseline, blocked by Hayden. Hayden again on the contest on Rust, and Hayden comes away with the rebound. And now a foul to Rust, and I believe that'll be number 3? Either 2 or 3. And he gives that one away, Dane. I know he's frustrated. He thought he'd get the call on Hayden, didn't. Kind of gave up a foul there.
Yeah, it's hard, right? You want to play aggressive. You're preaching that message. Even Truman, as he comes off the floor, is cheering his defense on. Let's go, boys. Let's go. And hard to be kind of situational with that intensity on when you're willing versus unwilling to give one up.
Lundberg stepped out of bounds. Timpview bench thought he stepped on the baseline, but he stepped out of bounds on the sideline. And this trap from Timpview continues to stymie this Alta attack. And
I'll tell you this, Timpview's really picked up the physicality too, and it feels like it's making Alta a little bit uncomfortable here, Dusty. Because even that, it was Lundberg saying, he pushed me. It's like, well, get rid of the ball, right? Like, push him back.
And you can't go to that corner, right? You got 4 defenders at that point. And here's Birmingham. It was a quick rest for Birmingham. Goes at Smith and draws the foul. And that is now the 4th team foul on Alta.
Well, socket set here tonight. We're ratcheting things down, Dusty. It's
be a long 4th quarter.
Yeah.
It's teams who only run the football saying, oh, we're going to test the officials' willingness to keep throwing flags on holding. No, we're going to keep attack.
Yeah. They say there's holding on every play. Let's see if that's really the case, shall we?
Hey, an official admitted it on a documentary this week.
Yeah.
As Foster steps into a 3 and hits. Tied at 33. And if you join us at the top, you would not imagine this happening when it was 22-5.
That's a multiple sport athlete for you, hitting a big time 3 to tie things up.
Oh, nice pass. And Johnson +1. Beautiful feed and a great finish.
Yeah, that's good vision. It's a nice play there by Johnson through the contact of Foster. Able to finish the play, and that's where I think Alta's going to have to admit this game we're not going to be able to win it with finesse. We're going to have to be physical and make tough finishes tonight.
And Johnson completes the 3-point play. So a short-lived tie as we're halfway through the 3rd.
It's incredible to think this Timpview team 9-10 coming in. They don't play like it. I mean, it's been a slow build for them, but right now they're playing really good basketball. It's kind of been, tonight's been indicative of their year.
That's out of bounds off of Timpview. Yeah, that went off the hands of McKay Simpson. And you know about that record, I mean, what they always do, play a tough out-of-region schedule. You go down to the Tarkanian Classic, they're always up in a higher level there, and they took their lumps early on.
Yeah, they did, and even, some games in state. They beat Ridgeline, but required a buzzer beater at the Horn. That's a 4A team, a really good one, but I think most people thought that, that would be a better matchup for Timpview. So they've certainly grown as the year's gone on.
Lundberg at the rim, blocked from behind by Rust.
We got a foul top side. Underneath had the block. Was saying it was going to stay here, and the topside official calling the foul here on Rust.
Yeah, interesting. It's just all consistency, right? We've seen Hayden with the same type of play, and I'm fine with the no calls. And it's always hard to know guys right underneath it. And he's like, no, we'll stay here. And you got a guy 50 feet away, going to try to keep things calm. I'm sure they call it player control calls.
I mean, it is one thing. Officials have a halftime too, right? Where they can come back and all get on the same page. Guys, look, we know how the first half went. How do we want the second half to go? And I think they've clearly had a more organized vision for how they want this game to unfold.
So back to a 5-point lead for the Hawks. And Rust now with 3 fouls. He's going to drive on Lundberg, center of the corner. And that is a tough call to go on Rust. I mean, and it isn't about movement, position. And it's interesting. As we've gotten older, we've gotten better about, I don't want to nitpick every single call, but there's certain ones that make sure we talk about. That goes off the hands, and it's a Campbell finish, and now a 7-point lead.
I'll still say block charge is the most difficult call to make. I saw one last night, I was like, oh, I don't know. I'm glad I don't have to make that call. That was one that I'm glad I don't have to make that call.
Yep. Keck outside. Keck on the drive. Try to wrap that one around. That's out of bounds off of Timpview. We go back to Alta.
You know, where Timpview's had success is clearing things out. And even right then, you've got multiple guys in, allows that height to come over, clogs things up, and leads to a turnover.
Lundberg. Simpson right there with him. Up top of Johnson. Trap comes. Hayden finds an open man down low, and Campbell. And they're going to get the timeout granted to Coach Horn. Do you need to catch your breath? I think all of us do. We'll be right back. You're watching the Game Night Live Rewind Game of the Week.
College wasn't built for me.
It didn't care if I had to work a double shift.
Or if my kid had a fever.
Deadline's a deadline.
I want to set the deadlines.
I want to take tests when I'm ready.
I want to take courses on my time.
And speed up when I know my stuff.
I want a university that cares about me.
Tests on your time, courses on your time, graduate on your time. WGU, the nonprofit university of you.
.306 left in the third, and we came here tonight because we knew this would be a good game. We thought it would be a good game. We knew it was an important game, but Dane, this feels like the playoffs, man.
I mean, it is, again, it's if Timpview wants a region championship, it's a must win, and Alta sees it as the way for them to stay on path for a region championship. That intensity's been there.
And it's Hayden with the bucket and a 9-point lead for the Hawks. Birmingham takes a bump, doesn't get the call, and now a foul on the rebound, and that'll be the 15th foul to Alta. We're now both teams at 5 fouls apiece.
It felt like a negative angle shot from Birmingham, and it almost went. I was like, oh, I don't know about that look, and somehow it almost went down for the senior guard.
Simpson drop it in. Birmingham sends back out. McKay Simpson for 3.
Again, Birmingham, only man in the paint. They bring help, the kick out there, and Simpson able to hit the 3.
Campbell was contested on the shot, doesn't get it. Smith retreats for the board. Lundberg cycle back through to Campbell, and he shuffled his feet. And a traveling violation on Jensen Campbell. Or pardon me, Jensen Campbell. So the trapping defense from Timpview continues to pay dividends for Izzy Engel.
You know, we talked about depth of Timpview scoring. They only had 4 guys score last night. Tonight, Dusty, they have had 8. It's there. In fact, they don't have a guy in double digits yet. It's been a lot of different guys contributing for Timpview tonight.
So 4 out. Actually, all 5 out as Birmingham down the lane at Hayden and gets the call. Hayden saying straight up, but again, you're leaving your feet underneath the hoop. If you have a restricted area, it makes it even easier, but the call's there.
So I thought on that one, the momentum of Hayden was carrying him into the body. Well, the arms are maybe straight if you're impeaching on the other area. And look, I'm parallel to it, so it's hard to see, but I felt like he was drifting on it. So I thought that was probably the right call on the play.
So Birmingham at the line. And lips out the first. Not a lot of free throws tonight for Timpview.
I'll add this. If you're Timpview and Coach Izzy Engel, you're going to have one of these games in the state tournament. So sometimes it's got to be ugly, and you got to scrap through it. They've done a great job clawing back and getting themselves back in it. Can they make the plays here in the second half to pull it out?
You know what this game feels like? This is an old school Timpview-Orem game with Cusick and Land versus Nash and that whole crew at Timpview. Johnson, the three won't drop. Roberts gets the offensive rebound, sends back out to Johnson. Now Hayden shakes, shoots, can't get it, and now Johnson with the board and foul will put Jackson Johnson at the line.
We saw Alta in the early minutes of this game rebound the ball really well. You get 3 looks on a single possession there, and it ends up with Johnson going to the line. That's a good pursuit by Alta, keeping the possession. Oh, it's not on the shot apparently. And it's the 5th foul.
On who?
Is it on Oldroyd? He's the one coming over.
It is on Oldroyd. And remember, we haven't had the numbers. We've had the officials put up the numbers, haven't on the board, and hasn't really been PA'd. But you know, some fans frustrated that he fouled in the 3rd quarter. Like, well, 5th foul's a 5th foul, and the frustration continues. But again, the surprise is that they called it on the rebound when it was a tip back.
Timpview hasn't made a sub.
Well, and here's the other part. The officials weren't even on the same page on that. And it's a 3 from Lundberg. And Dan, we have a lot of official friends. When you've got you have 3 officials on the floor, one of them's still talking to Izzy Engel,
right,
and the other 2 say, no, we're playing.
Right.
But what is that?
Yeah, I try not to harp on officials, right? I think it's a hard job, but that's one where I don't know how that happens. Very odd. I don't know if I've ever seen that, Dusty.
I've never seen it, especially when you have 2 that they don't stop, they don't blow their whistles to say to tell the official, stop talking and let's play.
And I have seen, I saw it this week where an official, look, we're starting to play, I'm putting the ball down, and my 5 second is counting, but I've never seen a delay on a substitution initiated by one while another is getting ready to go after a player's fouled out.
Yeah, on a 5th foul too. Because usually you walk over and they say 5 and they wait. Right. They didn't do that.
Well, they did. They did, but the problem was they engaged the staff the entire time in conversation. Yeah. Well, so it was...
And it was the official that stopped the game for the 5th that was still talking to Izzy. So you're right. I missed that part, but the other two say, no, we're playing. Let's go.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah.
And that the player ran onto the floor.
Yeah. I didn't know self-entry was possible, but it's like lacrosse, man. Hey, my penalty time's done. I'm coming back on. Let's go.
And it's maybe what if the backside official was still down to Izzy, told the kid, hey, come in, come on.
Well, because even the official wasn't in position. He was like, oh, I better run over. Yeah, peculiar play.
Crow terminates. Sends out to the corner to Blumberg. 1 minute left in the 3rd. Go inside Hayden. Send back out Crow for 3. No. And the rebound taken by Burge. And Timpview with a chance with a 3 to make it a 1-possession game. But it's Birmingham on the drive, fouled, and it'll be free throws for Birmingham. And I believe the foul will go to Jackson Johnson. And again, you can slap the backboard. It doesn't hit the rim, so it's not goaltending. So it'll be 2 free throws coming from Birmingham because, again, on a shot block attempt, you can hit the backboard in high school basketball. Not the NBA, not college ball. Can't hit the rim, hit the backboard.
True.
I just want officials to know I am on their side. I got questions.
A couple surprising misses at the line for Truman in this 3rd quarter.
A lot of points at the line. And he splits the pair. Crow, the bat to Lundberg. And remember, no shot clock this year in Utah High School basketball.
Yeah, I was going to say, does Timpview bring the trap to try to push the movement? They do.
Lundberg, trap ball along the baseline. That's a dangerous pass. Got it to Hayden, back out to Crow. Last year of no shot clock.
Coming again.
Lundberg, turned away by Burge, sent up to Hayden. 3 won't go, loose ball. That's gonna go off of Birmingham. So yeah, well, Birmingham's foot. It'll be Alta basketball. As he was chasing that down, that comes off the floor. An inbound into the Crow. 9 seconds. Lundberg now 5 with Hayden. Working on Foster, 3 seconds. Hayden, fall away. And it crawls off. And hey, do you want some playoff intensity? Come right back. You're watching a Game Night Live Rewind Game of the Week presented by Heidemann Associates, brought to you by Western Governors University.
College wasn't built for me.
It didn't care if I had to work a double shift.
Or if my kid had a fever.
Deadline's a deadline.
I want to set the deadlines.
I want to take tests when I'm ready.
I want to take courses on my time.
And speed up when I know my stuff.
I want a university that cares about me.
Tests on your time, courses on your time, graduate on your time. WGU, the nonprofit university of you.
Start of the fourth quarter, Dusty Lister and Dane Stewart. A 5-point game in what has been, man alive, since late in the second quarter. It has been as intense as it gets, Dane. And here in the fourth quarter, I mean, Alta has kept this lead. It got tied at one point, but Alta's made all the plays to keep the lead in this game. As Lundberg, Euro and finish, and it's a 7-point lead.
And that has been the opportunity for Alta. As Timpview's brought that pressure, they've gotten looks behind it if they can get the ball there, either through passing or drives. And by and large, they haven't. That time, Jet able to beat it and gets an uncontested lay-in.
Well, and an advantage to Alta is that Rust is on the bench, I believe, with 4 fouls. So Foster starting this fourth quarter.
And Oldroyd has fouled out, who is their second leading scorer with 13 a game.
Birmingham drives it Crow, sends back out to Burge. And he loses the handle. On the other way with Roberts. Hands back to Lundberg. And you imagine Alta doesn't take some time. Even with the trap coming, they don't have to force it up. Up 7.
They had a mismatch there off the switch.
Crow on the drive, got a foul away from the ball. And then he's going to go on Burge.
Yeah, that was the switch, right? So Foster came out on Lundberg, and it left Berg to deal with Hayden. And that's a tough matchup for a lot of players, and a foul committed away from the ball.
So Hayden at the line for 1-and-1. And it comes out, and the rebound to Birmingham.
Uncustomary night for Hayden. Averages 14 and 6, has 8 tonight, half of those coming from the line.
And Birmingham gets in the lane, floats it, and scores it. Back to a 2-possession game.
How about this? Timpview still does not have one player in double figures tonight. Truman has 8, Berg with 8, Keck with 7.
As Lundberg gets away from the defense, gets in the lane, and he floats it and scores it. Fans want the foul around midcourt, but I think they'll take the hoop instead.
It's the thing about this Alta team. Right now, Jet is trying to take over. It was Jackson early. It's been Jet here in the fourth. They got a lot of different guys that can make big plays when they need them, and there's one from their sophomore on the block.
Keck blocked from behind by Jackson Johnson. It'll be a Timpview ball along the baseline. Birmingham in the lane and get called for the hook. They're gonna go, yeah, off arm, yeah, wrapped around. Might not agree with it, saw it, knew as soon as he blew the whistle, that's what they were calling on that. As Roberts leaves it for Hayden. Gonna go at Rust with those fouls, and Hayden sends up top to Roberts. Now out to Crow. Can they guard Lombard? Goes to the baseline, fires that into Johnson, and it's gonna be out of bounds off of Timpview. They're unable to keep that ball in bounds. Good effort there by Simpson.
Yeah, it was great rotation by Timpview, both on Lundberg on the drive and then on the double team trying to take away the pass. Just couldn't keep that ball in play.
Lundberg lobs that into Johnson. Now Hayden goes to work at Rust. And a little hook shot drops. And it's a 9-point game once again for the Hawks.
10 now for Jackson, Jet with 11, and Johnson with 19. The trio playing strong tonight for Alta.
Rust from the corner. And back to 6, and Timpview reels it right back.
Yeah, they needed that. Needed a big play like that. And again, trying to close the deficit here.
Keck tried to draw a call, didn't get it. Hayden finishes that one through contact. And a lead back to 8. We go inside of 5 minutes. Birmingham leaves it to Keck, gets past Johnson, sends out to Rust for another 3 short. And a loose ball foul gonna be called on Johnson. Oh, they called that on Keck.
Yeah.
Did you see where we would call that one?
What?
I'm surprised Keck didn't get the rebound. He was the only one there, but I didn't see.
I couldn't tell who had it first. And, in that situation, I don't know.
Yeah.
That was one where I felt like bodies were between me and the ball. I couldn't tell who got there first.
Johnson hits the free throw. This game's teetering on that 9-point range. You can make it a double-digit game, and does with 2 free throws. So 10-point game. Timpview's always has been able to reel this back in after an early deep deficit. They'll have to do it again as we're nearly midway through the 4th quarter. And now offensive foul on Rust on the screen. And that is, I believe, number 5 on Rust.
I'm looking at the book. I haven't seen an indication. Oh, yeah.
And watch the mechanics again. They haven't had the 5 in delay. So.
Well, there's not much delay on that substitution.
And now Izzy Ingles gone.
Yeah. Well, no, he didn't pick up a technical. Izzy didn't get one earlier. It was given to the bench.
Oh, it was a warning, right?
Right.
So technical to Izzy Ingles, and one of the more mild-mannered technicals. So it's obviously something that was said, no matter how he said it as he sat down.
Yeah.
So Hayden goes back to the free throw line. It'll be 2 free throws and possession for the Hawks. So an 11-point lead now for the Hawks on the ball. About 4.5 to go in this one. And a big deficit for the Hawks with no shot clock to try to battle back in from, or probably for the T-Birds. They'll back in with no shot clock. Roberts cycled through to Lombard.
Alto's done a much better job with that press. Timpview hasn't brought it here, but work inside with Hayden. It's a nice job by Foster.
Foster cut it off, and here's a steal. Keck Euros through and finishes. And how they got back in this game, it was defense leading to offense. As we're now halfway through the fourth quarter. Dangerous backside pass. There's Johnson ahead to Crow. Lob it up to Hayden, and Hayden finishes. And a timeout taken by Coach Orn. 3:46 left in this one. Got a fun 3:46 left. We'll be right back. You're watching Game Night Live Rewind.
College wasn't built for me.
I didn't care if I had to work a double shift.
Or if my kid had a fever.
Deadline's a deadline.
I want to set the deadlines.
I want to take tests when I'm ready.
I want to take courses on my time.
And speed up when I know my stuff.
I want a university that cares about me.
Tests on your time, courses on your time, graduate on your time. WGU, the nonprofit university of you.
Yep. 3:46 left in the fourth quarter. Last gasp time for the T-Birds as they trail by 11. All right, it's back-to-back nights these two playing. They played last night at the Thunderdome. The game went to Alta as Birmingham forces that one up. No, Lundberg on the rebound. It's going to be a foul. It's going to draw some ire. This is going to be called on Carter Holliday.
Yeah, that's a tough one. They're both going for the ball, and Holliday kind of comes down first, and underneath Lundberg, certainly not intentional. It's good to see both players up. We talked about the injury to Jensen Campbell earlier in the year, and one where players weren't so fortunate. Whenever players go to the floor in basketball, you always just hope they find their way back up. It's good to see both of them are okay here.
So Jet Lundberg has been spectacular tonight. Hits the first. I'm talking about the difference for Alta. I mean, there's different positions, and I'm talking about the mobility of Hayden in the state tournament against different fives, but it's Lundberg, the size of the point guard position, that'll be quite the advantage for Coach Orn.
Well, I think the other thing is they just have a lot of guys who are comfortable with the rock. So Lundberg can bring it up, but we've seen them move the basketball early and get away from some of that pressure and lead to points. And so, there's not really a lot of weakness on the floor here for Alta.
Berg leaves out Foster, sends inside out. Simpson lips out the triple, and an extra possession. Holliday with the board. Now Birmingham will reset the offense. Into the corner to Holliday. And Holliday hits the deck, no call, and he loses the ball as Crow has it. Berg will pick up the foul, and that'll put Crow at the line and double bonus free throws.
The scary thing, Dusty, one of the players we have not seen yet tonight for Alta, Carter Doliak, a 6'7" sophomore, and he's going to be a stud as well. Obviously with the rotation, he's been getting more minutes as of late, but this roster, it's not just Hayden and Johnson. They've got other guys with size that Coach Orn can go to. They haven't had tonight. This is a deep, deep roster for Alta.
That name sounds familiar. Doliak, Michael Doliak's son, former head coach at Park City. Birmingham for three, no. Loose ball in the hands of Holliday as he lays that one in. On the other end, Roberts leaves it for a trailing Johnson, and again, not any rush to put a shot up. Johnson sends out to Roberts. And now Hayden. Double bonus free throws will come for Alta, so I don't expect him to put the ball in the air. As Birmingham trying to draw a charge, not going to get it. Hayden goes baseline pass out to Crow for three. But your 5 runs that thing as the 3 won't drop on this end. Ball loose in the hands of Birmingham. Birmingham float it and score it. But how about Johnson, just nice and patient, finding the open three?
Yeah, I thought Hayden might have been called for the offensive foul on that. There was no call. He kind of kept going around, and the kick out to Crow, who all of his 5 points here in the fourth. But, it's interesting, Dusty, with that bucket, Birmingham now with 10. That's the first Timpview player in double figures with 2:04 to go. And there's been a lot more depth tonight. There hasn't been that go-to, and Truman's tried to do that as now with 11, but it's just been tough to find that consistency as they've, especially early on, as they were trying to gut through a lot of the hot burst from Alta.
Well, a 17-point deficit, I mean, it takes a lot out of you to come back.
Right.
It's hard to hold that pace, and Alta able to just bounce back. I think it speaks to both of what these teams are. One, Timpview to come back, and two, for Alta to not sulk away, but to come back and put up now a 15-point lead. Yeah,
and I know that it's late minutes here, but that's kind of the point, right? Is so you want to bring double teams, that's fine. We'll move the ball, and we'll get the ball to the rim. As there's Hayden with a nice block.
Hayden with the block, Foster with the board and the bucket. Coming the other way, Crow floated up for Hayden, no, and Foster with the rebound. Alta's back with numbers. Transition three from Bird, got it. Timeout, Izzy Engel. As Timpview hits the three, makes it a 10-point game with 1:11 to go. We'll take a break, we'll be right back. You're watching Game Night Live Rewind. So 1:11 to go in the fourth. 10-point game is Hayden trapped in the backcourt. Gets it off to the Jet, now ahead to Campbell. Back to Hayden. Hayden sends out to Lundberg, go inside a minute left. Slim out the door, Nunn's got his foot out there. Is Alta, again with no shot clock, and take all this down, then put the shot in the air. And Timpview now gives up the foul.
I mean, Timpview is burning some extra calories and go eat a donut tomorrow, so.
Just conditioning.
Yeah.
Like, hey guys, let's get conditioning now.
Be back-to-back wins for Alta over Timpview on back-to-back nights. And, I don't know that anyone wanted to play this game on back-to-back nights. Sometimes you just got to do what you got to do, right? I know there's a similar situation in Region 2 that they'll have to gut through. But, tip of the cap to Alta. Grinding out last night, coming out tonight. It's been an impressive showing.
Yeah, with a lot of energy, too. You get the win, that makes you feel good, and come back, get it. As Bird can't get the three. Foster with the board. He sends back out the Holiday. Now Birmingham. He'll pull for three, and it won't go. Bodies at the floor. And everyone's just trying to get out of here as Crow is going to go to the line for 2 free throws. As the foul will go on Birmingham with 28 seconds left. And that was number 5 on, they call him Birmingham or they call him Bird. There'll be 2 free throws here for Crow.
This game was 45-40 coming into the quarter, Dusty, at 24-17 fourth for Alta. If if I'm Timpview, the way that third quarter is played, I feel like if I score 17 in the fourth, I come out with a win.
Right. You know, and this just tells you this is a new little day and era for Alta basketball.
Yeah.
Coach Cannon and then Coach Barker winning a state championship. It was slow down, grind it out, play good defense basketball.
Those days are done.
Yeah.
And they still play defense. I mean,
Right.
they defend really well. But they're about scoring too. It's a new day.
Mixing some offense with the Alta defensive mentality. It's like Eric Kerr going to Corner Canyon in some ways.
It's like
right?
a good carrot cake, isn't it?
If there's such thing, but yes, absolutely.
Yes, there is. I'll have you try it one day.
And Alta goes back-to-back nights with wins over Timpview, and they got a game coming up to close out the year to come up with the region championship. But they take this one by 13, 70-57. Dane, your selection of Hydeman Associates Player of the Game.
This is hard, Dusty. I feel like there were multiple guys that made key plays. I'm going to go with Jet Lundberg tonight. Really in the second half, I felt like his response from the pressure in that second half, the way he dealt with that was really impressive. Got the fourth quarter going for Alta to help push that lead out. Ended up unofficially, I got him with 13 points tonight. Jackson Johnson had the 21 to lead both sides. His three-point shooting in the first half was impressive to help create the distance. We'll go with two, Jackson Johnson and Jet Lundberg.
That's really good. Lundberg the game and Johnson with that spurt that really lifted things. But again, Alta with an impressive 70-57 win over the Timpview T-Birds. Look out for our video coming out. Dane and I got a new boys video getting ready to go 2 weeks out from the state tournament. As you'll be able to follow this right through the 5A and 6A state championships. The road from the Huntsman Center to the Marriott Center for the championships right here on KSLSports.com. For Vince Francis and Dane Stewart, I'm Dusty Lister. Thanks for joining us and for watching a Game Night Live Rewind. Game of the Week presented by Hydeman Associates and brought to you by Western Governors University.